Audience exclusive.
Hello, welcome to another episode of Beautiful Subconscious. I'm your host, Shell Marie, and today's episode, we're going to be discussing how relationships can really humble our healing journey. And I know for many of the people that I get to work with and exchange with who are as proactive and committed to the work, in inverted commas, and self-development, it can be a beautiful illusion and fantasy to fall into in thinking that because we have done X amount of work, we've done the work for years, decades, and we've really just immersed ourselves, that surely the next relationship should be smooth sailing. We should be connected because I've done the work. I've understood my triggers. I've understood myself. I've understood my childhood trauma. Surely I'd be able to conduct myself from my highest version in this relationship each and every time. And so it is very humbling when that is absolutely not the case. And I can absolutely put my hand up and speak from experience myself with that. And my girlfriend and I, not so long ago, one of my good friends, we were having this conversation on what is it that you learnt, or what is it that you're most grateful for from, your previous relationship. And mine was absolutely the humility that it gave in knowing how much I have grown, but also the opportunities on where there is still to grow. And that is not in a way to criticize, keep going, you haven't done enough. It's just really, I guess, honoring my humanness as well, because we can be so caught up in thinking that okay, cool, I'm learning more. I'm understanding my behaviors and my reactions way more. I therefore should know better. So I better do better. And it's not always the case, for sure. And so when we're in these relationships, we are witnessing our stuff 24/7 in the most direct and, on occasions, the most confronting ways. And it can be painful. It can be disheartening. It can be God, why am I like this? And you can really question yourself. But if we can just gain an awareness that when we are in a relationship, we are interfacing with all the holographic versions of this person, and we're interfacing with all of our holographic versions of who we are. And what I mean by that is you're interfacing with this person's inner child. You're interfacing with this person's soul. You're interfacing with this person's unresolved emotions and snapshots that have been left in their subconscious that they have suppressed down or weren't aware that it created a trajectory in a way that didn't serve them or no longer does serve them. You're interfacing with their wounded masculine, their divine masculine, their wounded feminine, their divine feminine, and all of it is exchanging and trying to find its equilibrium with every part of that within yourself. And so sometimes you may be just, chilling on the couch. And that's the thing, right? I believe also when we're on this journey, when you're, invested in wanting to understand yourself better, to self-inquire and to do the work, say you're doing it through meditation, say it's through journaling, say it's through a kinesiology session or breath work or whatever floats your boat. You in that moment have made a commitment to be I am ready to inquire. I'm ready to see and look within. But when you're in a relationship, you could just be chilling on the couch and, watching Netflix, and something comes along or something is said and you're triggered and you're I didn't sign up to be triggered right now. It's not a session. This is not, I'm not signing up for this right now, but it happens. And so it can spark up instantaneously that reactive state from you. And what it sparks up is a reaction from the interception, that space in time where it had made an interception in your subconscious. So where that reaction originated from, it reacts from that space. So you could be a grown ass woman and you can be like, I'm so aware of myself, but something is said and you get traveled back in time in no time at all to the version of you that created a reaction, a protective coping mechanism from your 4-year-old, 5-year-old self. And likewise with this person and their tapestry of what's made them them. And so it can be a really humbling experience to understand that and really, again, find that acceptance to it. Going on the previous episode, finding that unconditional acceptance to understanding that you are interfacing with so many different parts of this person and likewise with them to you. So what do you do when this happens? Firstly, it's holding compassion for yourself in understanding that, yeah, you have triggered a part of you that just needs a little compassion right now. It needs a little bit of validation. It needs a bit of space. It needs a bit of unconditional acceptance. It may not look like the most shiniest version of you. It may look ugly and fierce and it can feel really shadow, but there's some beauty in that too. There absolutely is some beauty in it too. It's just if we lift the conditionings of how we see those types of reactions and how society has deemed it to be. And if we just lift it up and say like, hey, this is me in my raw form. This is me in my like feminine, in my neurotic self or in my shadow version. And there's beauty in that too. There truly, truly is. And if you allow yourself to really lean into the compassion and the acceptance of that, it diffuses it by so much. It really turns the dial right down. And then also understanding that even though that might be playing out internally, like you're holding compassion for yourself, but outwardly you are still putting up that guard and you're still reacting. So now you've got this mental dialogue of like, God, Michelle, just let it go. Or like, I don't know why I'm still reacting this way when every part of me is understanding that I'm triggered right now, but I just can't seem to now take that next step in honoring that, like, all right, I need to diffuse my reaction. It's again, honoring that and communicating like, okay, I'm triggered and I'm reacting. I'm reacting, whether you say it to yourself and or in front of your partner, you just need to honor that I am in a reactive state. And whether you pause it right there and then come back to it once you're in a more stabilized space within your emotions and your mind and in your energy and your nervous system, or just allow that just to be honored, like I'm in a reactive state, and then move forward with tenderness from there as best as you know how. And I think that can be one of the most challenging parts, is showing ourselves and our partners tenderness when we see that they are triggered, because it can be really challenging to show tenderness to yourself and your partner in that exchange. But if you could just look at it like there's two little kids playing out right now, it's not your adult self, it's two little kids that are interfacing right now. And what would those two little kids need? Just a little bit of love and compassion and soothing. Can we just allow a space for moments to soothe? And so it's all about compassion, having compassion for yourself and your partner, communicating and realizing you're in that triggered state and finding the connection to that trigger, finding that trigger's origin, whether you journal it out, if you're both on this emotional evolution where you are quite evolved in understanding this, maybe they can offer some insights to what they see that you might be blinded to. And so if you can offer a space of hearing it with and allowing your defenses just to simmer down a little bit and just to hear what's beneath the words that they're saying, there can be some beautiful, beautiful correlations and connections to where these triggers are coming from and what they're trying to protect you from. So I hope that helps. You know, relationships, they are such a fast track way to really see what's going on. And yes, the beauty of this work of kinesiology is we can get to the root source of where all of this stems from within your subconscious. And so know that what you've called in your relationship or what it's showing you, there is something in service there for you. There really is something of that interaction and that exchange that's of service for you. And only you will know. And whether you're consciously aware of it or you need that support in understanding it deeper from your subconscious, know that you know why it needed to occur and what it's trying to show you, because everything is in your peripheral and everything is in your awareness for a reason. There's no coincidence. So just let that land. And if you're wanting that support in understanding where these reactions come from, or if there's repetitive triggers that you just can't seem to get a grip on, and it's just like, I know that every time that this happens, I see their triggers, I see my triggers, and we see each other in our triggers in our reactive state, and we can even intellectualize and verbalize it, but yet it still keeps happening. Please reach out. We can access that and start to clear it and integrate it with our sessions. So thank you for your time. Thank you for lending me your ears. I would love to hear what you have taken from this episode. Please share it around. I hope it helps. And until next time, take care of you.